Hello, fellow dorks, and welcome back to Alone in the Dork, and maybe our last episode of encountering our first domain in Nethalas before we move into Warren of the Ratkin. I got a few things to do, like find the exit, that'll help, and I got to get through this fight with the living moss. So during the upkeep phase, I only have a few little questions here. One, I don't quite know what to do with those vials that I keep finding of the Red Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I don't know if I'm supposed to drink them or carry them on me or, as I have been doing. And two, when I discover things like altars and stuff like that, do they remain? Can I use their ability more than once? Or do I have to decide then and there if I'm going to use it and then I can't ever return and try it again later? But beyond that, I'm ready to get into this combat and kill this stupid living moss. And really quickly tell you a few things that I overlooked last session, but they're good things. Hooray! So the main thing that I forgot to do was the Precision Striker crit. If you remember, that's my new goal. I critted 3 times last session. So I'm 3 of 50 of the way of accomplishing that goal. And also, which I put the little text down below, the dum-dum text, that I actually didn't give myself 10 experience for kicking that door open. So when this combat finishes and I am victorious, I will level up my character. So let's get going. Blah, blah, blah. Let's talk more rock. So that he does have one magical attack, and I like to read what that is if it's worth me spending my ether to do. They extend a cluster of tendrils towards a creature, forcing it to make an endurance check, or take 2 necrotic damage that targets their health. Oh, I typically don't lose health, so I wouldn't like that very much. So I think I'm going to maybe do my juju then, but let's try to get the jump on this guy first. Gotta hit him first. Gotta get the initiative here. Okay, let's see who goes first. My perception, which is 45, versus his mind, which is a 30. So let's roll him first. I'm gonna clear out all the dice from the fish tank, and here we go. Come on. So he succeeded, but not very well, and I failed. He goes first. Off to our typical start, so here they go. For our opponent, let's see what they're up to. Little cheeky butt heads. That's a 2. This is a physical attack, which is good, because I'm good at blocking this typically. Necrotic Touch. The living moss reaches out with a necrotic-infused tendril, attempting to strike a target and dealing D6 necrotic damage on a hit. So, it is doing an attack. Hiya! A 2, that is a very crappy hit for it. And I am trying to defend myself. I have a 73. I did defend myself, so I get my little dodge happy maneuver because I succeeded. A 9. You get a moment of respite after fending off your opponent's attack. Recover 2 toughness. Actually, I think I could use that. I can. I'm up to 28 of 30. Okay. So I just got a little breather there. So he's really slow. Do you remember, I think it was Creepshow. Was it Creepshow or was it like the Twilight Zone movie where this guy touches this meteorite and he gets all covered in moss and turns into this moss monster? That really freaked me out, the body horror aspect of that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. So I'm going to clear the dice. I need to be better about that. I am doing my full Juju weapon attack. I have an 83. That is a success. Ooh, it failed big time. I did a critical strike because that's how I roll. He has a place to hit, right? The head. It is possible I could kill him in 1 hit as he has no armor. Dang it. I got close. He is down to 2. But he severs the head neatly. But again, it's this shambling kind of moss thing. It's this undead plant creature. So it can still like live after you lop off its head. So it's still coming at me. I did succeed. So I get a plus 10 to my dodge, or to my parry. So that means my parry is an 83 as well. Let's see what it does first. The 3. Oh, and I would have sent out my little anti-magic things. That would have cost me 3 because it does do this really bad thing that I don't want it to do. So I'm down to 10 ether. So for my free action, I did do that, even though he did not do a magical attack. Ensnaring Vines. The living moss summons writhing, thorny vines from the ground to ensnare a target. The target must succeed on a dodge check. I'm going to fail. Or be restrained. If the target is already restrained, I take damage. I'm not. Let's fail this roll really quick. Dodge is a 20. I fail. And I am restrained. And if memory serves, I can try to break free of this, or I just attack with a minus 20, which I think I'm just going to do that. And I think I can make a regular attack, so I just need to roll a 2 on a 1d4 or a 1d6. So I'm just going to go for that. Defense, he has a 40 to defend. He does succeed, but he gets just, all these vines kind of trap me in place. I just kind of like lean forward and just try to like, just slash the ropey tendrils all around him. And I just basically need to get it's going to be a 63 or below. That's a 72. That is a fail. Wait a minute. I feel like for a free action, I could have tried to get out of this. Avery, yeah, double check the stupid rules. Okay. I feel with the restrained, I could have used a free action and do an athletics check to break out of this. And if I did that, which I would obviously do before I attack, my attack would have been a normal and that would have been a successful hit. So let's see how this works. Yeah, on their turn, I can attempt to get rid of this condition. It is a free action, but if I choose the full action, then it is at a plus 20. So I'm going to make an athletics check. And if I get a 43 or below, then that hit will actually hit. Nope. So it stands as it was. Okay. It is now... Oh, it got the happy juju. Roll a d10 to see what it gets. The creature's next damaging action receives plus d6 to its damage pool. If it is not a damaging action, then my spell word is reduced by 10 until the creature's next turn. Okay, so maybe just the vines keep kind of like creeping up me, like going in my mouth and like doing the Clockwork Orange on my face. Okay, it has not been resolved. That was my crappy turn. It is my opponent's turn, and here they go. Doing a 4. I think that is the same thing, and I think it's going to do the bludgeoning damage now. Yeah, it's the same exact thing. So since I'm already restrained, I just take d6 bludgeoning damage. And let's see what we get here. 2. All right, so that 2 toughness I got earlier, it went away, and let's keep on trucking. It is now my turn, and I'm going to do the same thing. I just need to hit it. I have a 63% chance, but let's do the athletics check first. Let's do the order of operations properly here. So I want to get a 43 or below, and then I'll be happy. I did. I broke free with the athletics check. You can't see it because I'm having this really weird pop-up getting in my way. What? Stop. I don't know why it's doing that. So I got a 38, so I do free myself, and that is go for the normal attack. My normal attack is an 83. That is a hit. So it needs to make a critical save. No, it's just a hit. So now I'm against it. It's just a normal attack. So it needs to defend itself. I have a 38. It's got to roll pretty darn well to succeed on this. A 2, that's not good enough. I hit it. All I need to do is roll a 2. That's a 2. Okay. And another 2. Great. He's just kind of like slowly like withering and kind of like falling apart. And I can see his spoils are on the resource table. So it's probably just crap he's just like gathered up as he's just kind of been loping around this dungeon area. And it really doesn't take much for me to kill him. He's already lost his head, and it's supposed to say he's just acting on instinct. I just very quickly just plunge it into his heart. I'm like, oh, there's no heart. Then it's kind of like just swirling my blade around like a mixer, and I just shred him into pieces. So down you go, and I level up. So that hits, I hit 1,000 XP. I guess it just resets down to 0, and I put myself at level 2. And let's see what goodies we get for this. Let's check the resource table first. And that's usually like a rock. You find a stick. You know, kind of dumb things. All right, let's roll 1d10 and just see what this nasty thing was dragging around with him. A 1. He had nothing. Great. So I got 1 critical hit in, so let's mark that down. That puts me up to 4 critical hits of 50. And I did kill somebody with a bladed weapon, so that puts me at 20 of 50. So the critical hit one's gonna move pretty quick. Let's see, I think I did everything I needed to do. I can recover 1d4 damage because I'm awesome. And that's just something you can do. 1. All right, so my toughness is back to 27. I'm feeling okay. And let's look what happens when you level. I am scared to scavenge this room for fear of getting another encounter. Here we go, leveling up benefits. I get 1 ability point. And these ability points I can put into my masteries. My masteries currently are at level 1 for my Mind Bender and for my Weapon Master. And then my amulet, it is at level 0 basically. So the cool thing is with an amulet, if I bump my amulet up to like a level 3 eventually, and I find a new amulet, that new one that I find is at level 3. So the amulet, I don't need to start over from scratch with each amulet I find. Now I do have access to the Book of Masteries because I bought this game like a week before the Gravebound edition came out. So it was just like there in beta. And then I immediately loved it, So I started I was just getting the feel of this game. It's like, screw it, I'm going to get this Book of Masteries. And I bought that as well. And with the Book of Masteries, instead of you just getting the one option for each tier level, you get to choose which one you want. I think I already know what I'm going to do here, but I'm going to just show you what my options are. So if you remember, I have the Arcanist. That is the character that is in the amulet. So that is how I would get my magic missiles. And remember, its feature is I can do +1 arcane damage every time I hit someone. And its ability that I currently have, which isn't doing me any good, is every time I hit someone with arcane damage, it goes up by +1. So if I keep pumping them with arcane damage, it's going to increase for each amount of times that I hit them. So this arcane missiles, right now I'm only shooting one of them. But if I get up to level 3, I would shoot 2 of them. I think I'd round up in that situation. And then all of a sudden, doing D4 damage against 2 creatures would be awesome. My next one is the Mindbender. Now this one's pretty decent. This one, I would go from Suppress Mind. That's what I do to do my little anti-magic thing. I keep doing my Professor Xavier Temple Touch thing here, but it's Heal Mind. I could, every time I camp, I can recover D4 sanity, which if you do remember earlier, I was getting a little worried about sanity. So that is a way I could recover some sanity. And the other one was in the Book of Masteries, it's something like 5 ether and it is a full action. I could do D6 psychic damage, which stinks that it's not arcane damage because then it'd be a D6 +1, but it's a different damage type. So that is another possibility I could choose. Or we've got the Weapon Master. And as much as I like the magic abilities that I have, I think I'm going to go into this one if it's Repost. Oh, it's Sure Blow. I think I liked Repost better. And that was in Book of Mastery. So Sure Blow it is a standard action. So it's just my attack and it costs 4 ether. I see through my enemy's weakness and exploit them with ease. As long as I pass a weapon skill check, my opponent cannot defend from this attack in any way. And that's pretty awesome. So all I just need to do is hit and they can't block it. I just need to hit. And when I'm rolling an 83, that's pretty good. But a lot of the times I'm going for the headshots and only one time have they blocked that when I hit. So it's more on me to hit during the headshots for them to block it. Or I can do Repost. Now, Repost is in the Book of Masteries. It costs 1 exhaustion. So it doesn't cost ether, it costs exhaustion, which kind of hangs around a little bit longer. But for a reaction, after I win a defensive check against a physical attack, so it needs to physically attack me, instead of rolling on that little happy table that I have, where I'm like, oh, I get the little defensive thing. What I could do for this is spend a point of exhaustion as a reaction. Instead of rolling on that table, I get to automatically make an attack. So what that does is it lets me return an attack, and then it becomes my turn, and then I attack again. So basically it is, for the cost of 1 point of exhaustion, I can attack twice. And that's pretty huge when I'm doing these called headshots. I think I'm gonna go with the Repost. I think that's what I'm gonna go for. But we aren't done yet. That's just part 1. Part 2 of leveling up. I get to pick one of the following. 1, increase my health by D4. That's not bad, but I don't think I've really lost too much health. Increase your toughness by D6. That's pretty nice. Toughness is what gets hit a lot. But a D6 is scary. It's scary rolling a D6. If you roll a 1, that stinks. Increase your sanity by D4. That's not bad because that's the thing I keep losing. Increase your ether by D6. But again, I'm just not spending ether very much, and it refills every room. Or, here we go. You've learned to read the subtle flow of combat. I can add a D6 to my damage pool, which, if attacking with a longsword, I get to roll a D6, and a D4 and take the highest result. That's pretty nice. So I'm really starting to lean into this martial class, still with a little bit of my Professor Xavier, but really into the martial class. On top of that, I could just increase an ability's damage by +1, which means I would just always I would still roll my 1d4 and my 1d6, take the highest and add a 1. So I'll never roll a 1 again, basically. That's pretty nice as well. I could just increase a skill by 5, which my scavenging or something like that, or my stealth or my thievery or my dodge, which super sucks. I've yet to succeed on a dodge check, I think. Or I could increase my endurance, resolve, or spell word by 5. But I keep finding these suppositories, so I don't know. I mean, it's getting real crowded up there. So, and I'm kind of into it because they're kind of into me. So I think I don't want to do that. So it's honestly coming down between, do I add an extra D6 to my damage pool? So again, I would roll 2D6 and a D4, and I would take whatever is the highest. Or do I always get that +1? just guaranteeing that I'm never rolling a 1 again, and my bell curve just increased. So instead of rolling between a 1 and a 6, I'm rolling between a 2 and a 7. But I'm gonna go add the D6 to my dice pool. I think typically that is a better chance of more consistent higher rolls. So that's what I'm going for. And that's exciting just to roll more dice because, as we know, I love my fish tank of dice. So that's what we're doing. So we are leveled up and we are ready to scavenge this room, maybe, and then get out of here. Let's go ahead and try to scavenge real quick. That is a 32. 14. So that is the successful scavenge. A 1. Man, find some grisly remains. Ooh, okay. So maybe I'm just like, okay, there's got to be something in this guy. Remember, he had nothing. His loot drop was nothing. It's like, okay, there's got to be something. I just start like peeling away his like carapace, and instead I find a body in there. And by all accounts, it looked like they were still living. And that could have been a companion. I was about to say it was Snarf, but if I think I killed Snarf, I would actually gain sanity back. Snarf? Yeah, shut up, Snarf. So, yeah, let's make that resolve check. So yeah, let's say that there was actually, the living moss was feeding on a host that actually was alive. Maybe I recognized them from the gallows that I was just at, and they lived as well. But I cut their head off and then stabbed them and then blended them up. So let's see if I lose some sanity, if I'm like totally cool with that. Nope, I go a little bit loopy with that. I lost another point of sanity. It happens to the best of us. So maybe there is some humanity left in old Sir Alistair Merryweather. Okay, that was no good. The container, it costs 2 exhaustion. Yeah, let's do it. All right, here we go. Let's see if I realize if it's trapped or not. Nope, no clue. Is it locked? Yes. Do I open this thing? I always screw up. But I'm about to leave, so I'm not overly concerned about the tension die. And it's still at a D8. Let's try to crack this thing open and hope for the best. That is a 6. God dang it. I gotta start clearing these dice more. It's just dumb. Okay, I triggered a trap. If I roll a 9, so help me God, I'm going to flip this table. 8. All right. A ball of fire fills the room. All right, that's what you get. Acrobatics. This is like my worst of all of them. Kia! 92. If you're gonna fail big, fail big. Okay, I just got hit by some fire. 4 points of it. All right, 23. So now let's see if we open the dumb thing. It's a 53. And then I need to roll the tension die. 29. It's open. Let's roll tension die. Still good. And let's see if I even found anything in here. Let's get my 10 experience. I want to roll a 6 or above. That's a 9. Yay! A 4. Some candles. Okay, I'm running out of candles. 3 candles. That's great, because actually they're running a little low. I think I'm down to like 5. I'm back up to 10 candles overall, because I have one in my belt, just for fear of an event making me lose that. Okay, let's get out of this place. Let's just open up this next door and hope that it is a room. Let's go to the door to the south, and let's see what we got. Got some lag. 23. Crap. I think that's a corridor. Man, I'm pretty sure 25 and below is a corridor. It's my first corridor in quite some time, so it's destined to happen eventually. I need to mark off some light. What does this corridor look like? 18. The stench of decay is overpowering in this tunnel, infested with ravenous vermin that lurks in the shadows. So I walk in and it just like, I can see the rats. I'm getting close to the warren of the ratkin. And it's just got like all of these just kind of rats. Their like glowing eyes just light up in my candlelight. I'm like, foreshadowing. I still roll attention die even in a corridor. Okay. It went down a level. So yeah, this is starting to bode a little bad. This isn't super great. Roll a d20. An 8. Thank you, because I did not want to fight anything. A pile of refuse covers the corner of the room. There might be something useful there. Make a perception check. All right, I'm 45. I'm fairly decent at this. 39. Yeah. Okay. Roll on the spoils table. Great. So maybe all these rats were like kind of hoarding it, because rats like to hoard things. So yeah, maybe I got something good on the spoils table. Let's see what we got. All right, this is where I typically roll poorly. So I typically roll a 1 or a 2. Yep, streak continues. It is mundane. More ritual components. Still don't know what to do with those. 4 of them. Okay. Maybe I'll just do a little happy ritual before I leave this place. So I'm up to 5 ritual components. Let's see what this corridor looks like. Okay, so you can see the room right here. So this is the room that I'll be in right here. And honestly, I just don't want to go back this way for fear of hitting a dead end. Then I have to start cutting back more. I just have so many more doors available to me here. So I'm going to go back into this room. Again, that'll be another roll on the tension die. That'll be losing some more light, which I will have to switch candles. And then I'm going to check this room over here. So the tension die is now a D6. We're fine there. And I'm going to lose some light, which makes me move to a new candle. Okay, let's check this next door, see what happens. 87. Let's see here. 87 is a room. I don't know that much. So I have a 50% chance that this is the exit. Okay, so this is the new room here. Just to help with the map a little bit, I put in this little tiny hallway to get there. It doesn't count as a corridor. It's just the entry to this room. But it is this goofy looking room right here. And we're going to say it's below the fountain. So that is what this room is. Let's see what it looks like. 66. That's pretty apropos, don't you think? A series of arcane symbols that you've never encountered before cover the walls of this chamber. Ooh, is this an entrance/exit from here? We have a 50% chance. All right, 1 or 2. Oh, it's a 1. That's it. We have found the way out of the Veil Venom, or what? Actually, the Veil of Venom probably would have been a better name. What did I name this place? The Veil of Venom is probably better. I called it the Venom Weave. Okay, this is it. So we just start going even further down, but we just slowly start creeping further and further down into the earth here. Okay, so we are going to camp in this room because we do not know what's up ahead of us. And that's going to be it. We did it. This was our first domain, and I really feel that I did pretty darn well. And I feel like I went through it pretty quick, surprisingly. Let's look at the map here. I think with the way the map turned out for us, we got pretty lucky. Again, I found this area right here in the middle. That area helped out so much with all those doors. We started way over there. Bye, Snarf. Snarf, shut up, Snarf. And then there was this door way over here. Who knows where that would have led? But I don't want to keep looking around because I'm happy. I want to go into Warren of the Ratkin. It just got its official lease today, as a matter of fact. But yeah, here we go. We're going down there. Let's look at camping, and we'll see what happens next. In this next episode of Warren of the Ratkin as well, it'll probably start with a bit of an introduction to like just what the setting is. It is has a little bit different setting. There's like some new traits that monsters can have and stuff like that. So I'll probably highlight that a bit in the very beginning of it before we continue with the adventure. Okay, here we go. What am I looking for? Camping. So I've got a good bit of exhaustion. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't see what the heck happens in this room. I was like, oh, it's the exit. Hang on. Let's see what happens in the room. I need to roll a 1d20. A 1. I love my 1s. So no fight. I do get like an encounter here. Okay, let's see what happens. So I'm just like starting to set up camp. And while I do that, at 18, I find something of value. I roll on the spoils table, and maybe it is these ghosts. Maybe, like I said, they disappeared or something, but maybe they leave me something. So let's find the spoils table here real quick. I guess I could still loot this room too. Roll a 6. A 5. Great. It's valuable. It's not precious, but it's valuable. Roll a 1d20. A 7. An attunement crystal. Okay. I get left with a little attunement crystal. So I have 4 attunement crystals. I need to start finding some magical items. Dare we scavenge? 91. Fail. Container. Sure. Tension die drops to a d4. I need to see if it's trapped. Clear these dice. I'm opening it. This is going to cost me 2 more exhaustion, so I'm up to 5 exhaustion. 53% chance of opening this thing with my crowbar. Yeah. 41. I opened it. And the tension die does go, and we did move it down to a d4. It rolled a 4, so we're fine. And that's probably my last tension die roll. Is there anything in this? Nope. A final FU from this domain. Who cares? That's fine. Let's get back to the camping menu. I'm feeling like I did pretty good in this. Black Oath said there was that Vexator, the Abyssal Vexator or whatever. And he said that could be a really tough fight. And I don't think I even got hit in it, but I also got really lucky with my spell word saves. I know I complain a lot about my bad rolls, but I feel like in this domain, I did pretty well because I'm so smart. I'm such a freaking strategic genius. Barricade, you better believe it. I'm going to do it 3 times. That is going to take 3 exhaustion. Am I going to cook? Torches, bandages, lamp oil. I have 4 cooking supplies. I'm going to turn all of that into food, which puts up to 7 rations. I'm just prepping for whatever is in store for me. I think when you camp, you get 10 exhaustion back. So I can do like one more thing that takes exhaustion, which I think I'm going to craft bandages. I'm going to make a few more bandages. Let's craft 3 more. So that puts me down to 3 crafting supplies, which is good. That leaves me enough for another super barricade. So with my barricade roll, I need a 12 or above. I did cooking, which now I need a 13 or above. I did craft bandages. Now I need a 14 or above. But then I barricade 3 times, which knocks that back 15. So it's at a -1. So I'm good. My exhaustion is exactly at 10. I regain 1 health, which I didn't need. I recover all toughness and D4 sanity. 1. So I'm still a little insane, but that makes sense, right? I found a room. I'm at 13 ether. I will mark off this 1 light for when I leave this room. My exhaustion's at 0. With the exception of being 3 sanity low, I'm in great shape. And now, let's upgrade some skills. So here we go. Athletics first. I want to roll above a 43. I got it. So athletics improves by 4. Great. My athletics is now a 47, which is awesome. Bladed weapon. I want this to be above a 63, which is a pretty big ask. I was considering I could have raised this when I leveled up by 5 points, which is pretty incredible, but I decided not to. Since I roll bladed weapons so much, I do pretty consistently critically fail or fumble on it, so I'm always adding these check marks to it. So that's the reason I decided not to do that. But I would love to get above a 63. A 93. Roll a 1d4. Watch me roll a 1. A 4. Good thing I didn't level up in that because I already got 4. That is amazing. So that is 67. I now have an 87 when I'm doing an attack. That is huge. Okay, we are doing perception, which is a 45. Oh, it almost rolled to an 82. That is a 22, which is a critical fumble, but no. So I got 1 point in perception, which is fine. That's a 46. And then we have scavenge, which I love to critically fumble. I think that's a 28 is what I rolled, which is a fail. So I bump it up by 1. So 33. Honestly, the bladed weapon one was the one I wanted the most, and that's the one I got. So I'm super happy with that. And we camp peacefully through the night. And next episode, we are doing Warren of the Rat. Freaking Ken. I'm so excited. And I love how it timed out to like, it's a release basically. Literally, it just released today. So here we go though. One more question. Because whenever we hit big moments like leaving layers or killing overseers, we try to figure out a little bit more about Sir Alistair Merryweather. So 1, he did commit the crime of sodomy, which I guess is illegal where he's from. 2, he also did seditious acts. So now my question is, because at first I thought he was wrongfully accused. Oh, I should use so there are these other games for Black Oath that I am working on, and one of them has an oracle system. So I'm going to use the simple oracle table from Riftbreakers, which is the game I'm planning on doing here shortly. I did kind of hint at it earlier. I am doing a few episodes of Machine Gods of the Noxian Expanse, which he has made for Morkbork. So it's compatible with Morkbork now. I am going to actually do a couple episodes of that, which may go before Riftbreakers. I don't really know. Again, I got 3 Black Oath games in my head right now, which is Machine Gods. I've got Riftbreakers. I've got this. And then I've also Warlord Ascendancy or Ascendance, or I don't even know. I can't even say the titles. There's so much going on in my brain right now. But that's a possibility I'm going to be looking into after those. Again, very Black Oath-centric life I'm living right now. But let's see. I'm consulting its Oracle. It is a D6. And my question is, were the crimes that Sir Alistair committed, were they nefarious? Let's put it that way. It's an easier yes or no question. Were they nefarious? Meaning, they weren't benevolent. They weren't for the greater good. It was like sinister what he was up to. Because I would have asked, was it like this affair he was having with the prince? Was it love? Or did you really feel it? But I don't think it was. just because he was also seditious. So I feel like there was something in it for him. He was trying to do something to get in on the inside here. And I think I want to see if it was for good reasons, like taking down a bad empire, or if it's worse than that. So was this nefarious? Were these crimes he committed, was it nefarious? And I'm rolling a d6. I'll pop the oracle table is here, and let's find out. No. And a complication takes place. Okay, so maybe he is a little bit better than we thought. He is obviously trying to bring down these people, and his best in was through this prince. But it's complicated. So maybe he actually did start to have feelings for him. And maybe the complication is how he was captured. Maybe the prince was in on it, because remember, the torch and the sword appeared by him when he was down in the pit, back in Stepping into Darkness. Or maybe he was betrayed. These are things to think about. And again, I love having an unreliable character. So I was really starting to lean into he's bad, he's a bad guy, this is fun. But now this is making it sound like, okay, maybe he's not a really bad guy. But let's jump up to the top, and we'll wrap this bad boy up. Okay, and that was my first domain, and I made a lot of mistakes, but hopefully I helped a lot of you as well. I feel like a lot of people are using this somewhat as a tutorial, because there's a lot of things going on, and it's easy to get a little confused. But again, as Alex said, none of it's game breaking. None of it is going to break the game. I've made some pretty big mistakes, and I'm still here, and I'm still having a good time. And that's all that matters, because I have been given such a gritty, creepy, interesting world that I want to explore. And that's the whole point of this. This was my first full play of a Black Oath game. The other one was a tutorial scenario, and I freaking loved it. I can't wait to go into Warren of the Ratkin and just see what happens. And it looks like it's a kind of a structured story with possible various endings I don't quite know. And man, I'm just ready to jump into this thing and just see what happens. I have no idea how long it's going to take, but we'll see next episode. But thank you so much for watching this. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me a lot, but I am sincerely thankful. This is my first series of videos that I've done for my channel that have actually been fairly successful in regards to viewership of it and the comments and the likes. And that really does mean a lot to me. I've had this channel for a little while, and I've been spinning my wheels a bit, but I just love games. I love playing games, and I like creative people. This is a great community the Black Oath Entertainment has. So thank you so much. And I'm going to just keep on trucking, and we're going to go play with some rats here shortly. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're done. And I feel like we are moving into Warren of the Ratkin in a good place. It is specifically designed for characters that have gotten 1 or 2 domains under their belt. And you know what? I got a belt now, so I'm feeling real good. Thank you so very much for watching. Again, ouch. I just punched the crap out of my table on that gesture. Anyway, I'm Avery with Alone in the Dork, and until next time, stay dorky, my friends. Yeah.